Okay, today in chemistry, we're going to learn to do factor label or dimensional analysis problems. And so you should have pulled off the commonly used conversion chart that I provided to you in an email. So we're going to fill it in. So our first column is dealing with meters. So we're talking distance, and then our second column will be mass, which is grams, and then volume, which is liters. And so we're going to fill in the first column, and then we're just going to transfer our numbers across. So 1 meter is equal to 10 decimeters. 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. 1 meter is equal to 1,000 millimeters, or you can write that as 1 times 10 to the third. 1 meter is equal to 1 times 10 to the sixth micrometers. That's micro. It's the Greek letter mu, or it's the same as 1 million. And then 1 centimeter would contain 10 millimeters. And then 1 kilometer is the same as 1,000 meters. And then a millimeter is not very thick. You know, it's maybe as thick as that line on that K. And you can divide it 1,000 times, and each one of those is a micrometer. Now you're going to put the video on pause, and you're going to transfer all of your numbers across. So if you say you have 1 meter is 10 decimeters, you could say you have 1 gram is 10 decigrams, or 1 liter is 10 deciliters. It's just, you're talking volume in this column, mass in this column, distance in this column. Okay, now we need to add a few more that we're going to need. So 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. 1 pound is the same as 454 grams. 1 quart is equal to 946 milliliters. 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. 1 milliliter is equal to 1 centimeter cubed. 1 meter, if you have a meter stick, is the same as 39.37 inches. And then if we say 1 milliliter is equal to 1 centimeter cubed, then we could say 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. And then you might add, if you do not remember this, 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. We may need that on homework. Okay, so we're going to use this in a minute when we look for a certain conversion. So we're going to start out simple. Some of these you can do in your head, but the point is we need to learn to set problems up in factor label or dimensional analysis. We will use this throughout the year, for instance, like when we're doing stoichiometry. So it says how many inches are in 3 foot. So the first thing you're going to write down, and you're going to start over to the left so that you can leave room if we have a long problem, is you're going to always write down the thing with the number. So we're going to write 3 feet, and I'm going to abbreviate feet, FT. Now that is the same as putting that over 1, so if you need to put it over 1, do so. This one would not get a unit though. So we're going to say 3 feet times, feet is in the numerator, and we want it to cancel out, so we'll put it in the denominator. So we're going to put foot down here, and you know from your past that in 1 foot, there are 12 inches, okay? Our feet will cancel, and we're going to be left with inches. Now, we're going to multiply straight across, and then we'll divide by what's on the bottom. So 3 times 12 is equal to 36 inches. Now, if you would do me a favor, go up to this 3 and make that 3.0. That has 2 sig figs, and this has 2 sig figs, so we don't want to have to adjust this answer, okay? Next one, how many dollars are in 65 dimes? So once again, you write down the thing with the number first. So you write down 65 dimes. I'm going to go ahead and put this one over 1 again. I'll probably stop doing that on the next problem. Times, you want to get rid of dimes. It has to go in the numerator. And we know the relationship between dimes and dollars. And so you know there are 10 dimes and $1. Dimes will cancel. You multiply across the top, divide by what's on the bottom. So 65 times 1 is 65, divided by 10 would be $6.50. Okay? So now we're going to use metric. Centigrams is the same as CG, milligrams is the same as MG. So go to your conversion chart and see if you can find a relationship between centigrams and milligrams directly. So you're on the gram column, So if you look right here, you have centigrams, milligrams. In 1 centigram, there are 10 milligrams. So we write down 92 centigrams, Cg, times division bar. We want to get rid of centigrams. It has to go in the denominator. We want to go to milligrams. It goes on top. We already determined that in 1 centigram, there are 10 milligrams. Okay, so now your centigrams will cancel. If you stop your answers in milligram, that is exactly where we want to go. So we're going to multiply across the top, divide by what's on the bottom. So 92 times 10 is 920 milligrams. If you need to put that in your calculator, you can, but I just kind of did that one in my head. Okay, the next one, we want to go from we want to go from meters to centimeters, so we'll look at a conversion chart. Do we have centimeters and meters? We can go directly. So 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. So we're going to say 25 meters times division bar. You want to get rid of meters, so you're going to put it on the bottom. We will put centimeters on top. We just said that for every 1 meter, there were 100 centimeters. Okay, so your conversion tells you what number goes where. Meters will cancel. You're going to multiply across the top, divide by what's on the bottom. So 25 times 100 would be 2,500, but let's just punch it in. So 25 times 100 equals 2,500. 2,500 centimeters. If you want to put that in scientific notation, if you have the TI-30XA, you can simply hit second, and then 5 puts it in scientific notation, and there you go, 2.5 times 10 to the third centimeters. So it's really simple in this calculator. Okay, the next one, we're starting at centimeters, and we want to go to kilometers. So if we look at our conversion chart, we do not have a direct relationship between centimeters and kilometers. We can go from centimeters to meters, and then we can go from meters to kilometers. I don't want you to collapse these. I want you to do several steps on some of these. And there are several different ways you can go, but this is the one that's most logical in my mind. So we are going to write down 2.5 times 10 to the 4th centimeters. We want to get rid of centimeters, so we're going to say times. We're going to put centimeters on the bottom. We looked at our conversion chart. We know we can go from centimeters to meters, and we know that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Your centimeters will cancel. We don't want to stop here because it would give us meters, so we've got to go one more step. I would not put equals and start again. I would just put in times division bar. You want to get rid of meters. It's going to go on the bottom. And now we can look at our conversion chart once again, and you can go directly from meters to kilometers. It's on here someplace. Right here, okay? So 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer, okay? Now your meters will cancel. So we're going to multiply across the top, and then we're going to divide by the bottom. So the TI-30XA, here's the easiest way to do it. So make sure your calculator's on clear. So you take 2.5, to put that in scientific notation, above the number 7, you see the EE button, hit EE, and then hit 4, and that puts it in scientific notation. When you use the EE button, do not put times 10 also. Okay, we're going to multiply across times 1 is going to be the same thing, so I'm not going to put that in. And then we're going to hit divide by 100, and then divide by 1,000 equals. And it should be 2.5 times 10 to the negative first kilometers. Okay. Next one, we're going to go from kilograms to micrograms. So we look at our chart one more time. Our second column has our grams. We know that we can go from kilograms to grams, and then we can go from grams to micrograms right here. So that's the route I'm going to take. There are several different ways you could go. Okay, so we're going to say 7.20 kilograms times division bar. You want to get rid of kilograms, so it's going to go on the bottom. We said we could go from kilograms to grams. Looking at your table, you know for every 1 gram, there is 1,000, for every 1 kilogram, there's 1,000 grams, or you can write that as 1 times 10 to the third. We don't want grams, we want micrograms, so we're going to say times, and so we're going to put grams down here, micrograms here. We're going to go to our table once again. Here is grams, here is micrograms, so you're going to put 1 with grams, and then you're going to put 1 times 10 to the 6 with your micrograms. So 1 gram has 1 times 10 to the 6 micrograms. Your kilograms will cancel. Your grams will cancel. Okay? We're going to multiply across the top and then divide by what's on the bottom. So make sure you clear your calculator. Okay? So 7.20 times 1,000, or you put 1E3, times 1 EE6 equals. Now, that is a very long number. You don't want to have to write that. So if you want to put it in scientific notation, just remember you can hit the second button and then hit 5. It puts it in scientific notation, and there you go. 7.2 times 10 to the 9th microgram. Okay? Make sure that you have a unit with all of your answers. Make sure you have units in your problem and you cancel out. And if you would do me a favor, I haven't been doing this, but please box in your answers. Okay? So we're going to try one last one. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to go from weeks to seconds. So we're going to say 3.5 weeks, I'm going to abbreviate WKS, times, I know that in every 1 week there are 7 days. And then I know in every 1 day, so it's going to go on the bottom, there are 24 hours. I'm going to abbreviate that HRS. Now, I know in every 1 hour there are 60 minutes. And we don't want minutes, we want seconds, so I'm going to say times. I want to get rid of minutes, so in every 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. All right? Now you go back and check. Your weeks will cancel. Your days will cancel. Your hours will cancel. Your minutes will cancel. So you're going to be left with second. That's exactly where you want to be. Make sure you clear your calculator. And then you'll take 3.5. You're going to multiply across the top. Times 7 times 24 times 60 times 60 equals, once again, we have a very large number. Put it in scientific notation. Just hit second, 5. Okay, now 3.5 has 2 sig figs, and so you want your answer into 2 sig figs. So we're going to say 2.1 times 10 raised to the 6th power. Okay, and I need to go back up here. I can see I have a mistake. 7.20 has 3 sig figs. This trailing zero counts since it's a decimal. I only have 2 here, so I want to put a 0 there. This one has 2 sig figs. My answer's in 2 sig figs. This one has 2 sig figs. My answer's in 2 sig figs. 92 has 2 sig figs. 920 has 2 sig figs. This 0 is not significant if there's not a decimal. $65 has 2 sig figs. I have my answer in 3 sig figs, so I'll tell you what, just to make it legit, let's put a 0, $65.0. All right? So that is how you do factor label or dimensional analysis. Please set them up like this. You need to pull all of your conversions from this table. Don't be collapsing units or go to the internet and find something strange. And then remember, there are several ways to do a problem. Some problems, you need to do what's most logical to you as long as your units cancel. Thank you, and now you can do your dimensional analysis problems, which is set 3. Thank you.